The notion that scientists and mainstream media are lying to us about climate change is a pervasive one, with many proponents of this view citing alleged agendas, biases, and motivations as the driving forces behind the supposed deception. However, a closer examination of the situation reveals that the reality is far more complex, and the accusation of outright lying is, at best, misleading. It is essential to understand the multifaceted nature of climate change research, the role of media in reporting scientific findings, and the societal, economic, and political factors that influence the narrative surrounding this critical issue. First and foremost, it is crucial to acknowledge that climate change is a highly politicized topic, and this politicization contributes significantly to the perception of deception. Scientists, in their pursuit of understanding and explaining the complexities of climate change, operate within a realm that is inherently apolitical. Their work is guided by the scientific method, which emphasizes empirical evidence, replication, and peer review. The overwhelming consensus among climate scientists, as reflected in numerous studies and reports from reputable organizations such as the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC), is that climate change is real, primarily driven by human activities, notably the emission of greenhouse gases from burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial processes. The accusation that scientists lie about climate change often stems from misunderstandings of the scientific process and the nature of scientific consensus. Science is not a democracy where truth is decided by vote. Rather, it is a continuous process of inquiry, where hypotheses are tested against empirical evidence, and theories are refined or rejected based on the results. The consensus on climate change is not a product of some collective decision, but an outcome of the accumulation of evidence from various fields of study, including climatology, oceanography, biology, and economics. Mainstream media, on the other hand, plays a critical role in communicating scientific findings to the public. However, the media's coverage of climate change can sometimes be misleading or incomplete, not necessarily due to an intent to deceive, but often as a result of the challenges inherent in conveying complex scientific information to a broad audience. The need for brevity, clarity, and engaging storytelling can lead to oversimplification or sensationalism, which may distort the nuanced views of scientists. Furthermore, the 24-hour news cycle and the competition for viewership can create an environment where controversy and debate are highlighted over consensus and complexity, further contributing to public confusion. Additionally, the influence of special interest groups, particularly those with economic stakes in the fossil fuel industry, cannot be overlooked. These groups have been known to disseminate misinformation and fund research that casts doubt on the scientific consensus on climate change, aiming to delay or prevent policy actions that could impact their interests. This phenomenon, often referred to as climate change denial, is not about the scientific debate but a political and economic strategy to influence public opinion and policy. In conclusion, the narrative that scientists and mainstream media lies us about climate change is overly simplistic and misleading. The reality involves a complex interplay of scientific inquiry, media representation, political maneuvering, and economic interests. While there are certainly instances of misinformation and bias, these do not equate to a broad conspiracy to deceive the public. Instead, they reflect the challenges of communicating complex science, the polarization of political discourse, and the significant stakes involved in addressing climate change. To move forward, it is essential to support and engage with scientific research, to promote accurate and nuanced media coverage, and to recognize and address the socio-economic and political factors that influence our understanding and response to climate change. Only through such a comprehensive approach can we hope to build a more informed public discourse and to develop effective strategies for mitigating and adapting to the challenges posed by climate change.